I make work that responds to human interaction with the environment and personal notions of ecology. I'm interested in more than human witnesses to disturbance, so working with materials that may have witnessed different states and levels of human disturbance of the environment. And in this instance, I worked with charcoal that I collected from a coupe in southern Tasmania in the Weld Valley, and it's a burnt rainforest coupe, so the logging practices here are they clear fell or fell the land and the complexity that was there, and then they burn it in preparation for spreading the seed of a monoculture, usually the blue gum. So I went and collected the charcoal, and during those visits I also had a modification made for the exhaust of my car so that I could collect the carbon from my traversing the topography and environment of Tasmania. And I made that into an ink substance very carefully. And with that ink, I painted a poem that I'd written on the outside of the boat, so on the vehicle that we'd been given for this particular work. And the work's called 100-Year Flood, and it takes its name from a storm that we experienced earlier in the year in Tasmania. It was quite a big storm, and it affected a lot of people's dwellings as well as the environment in a way that was quite extreme. And then a couple of weeks later I went for a walk down to the river that I live next to. I live near the Northwest Bay River. It's a mountain stream that comes off the south side of Mount Wellington. And I collected the mast for this particular project from there. It's a tree that had been uprooted and dislodged and repositioned. So that sense of place really inhabits the work in the materiality that I've adapted and used. And my hope is that people will interact with my practice and with the creations that I make, and they will have a mindful response to how the environment is used as a resource. That's a pretty massive part of how I am currently thinking and making work with, is that space of how to witness disturbance. How are we witnessing disturbance and keeping that within, the consciousness of the broader reality. It's very easy to have your own little carved out space of the world and to beautify and aestheticize and to make decisions within that space, but trying to remember the interconnectedness of a planetary awareness, which sounds like, whoa, super massive and large, but really I'm just having a discrete art practice and that's the choice that I've made about how I participate in and develop that work. And I'm fully aware that the work that I make, first and foremost, changes me and adapts me as a person. And while it has broader social and political aspirations, I realise that, I'm the one who's affected primarily.